across the border illegally, flying them to airports around the country, including right here at Southwest Florida International Airport. They basically are given a notice to appear, and then they're sent on their way. Think about that, though. If you're given a notice to appear and you're told, hey, call this number to schedule a proceeding at your convenience, how many people are actually going to follow through on that? That's not the way they do it here. I mean, if they arrest somebody, they don't just give them the option to schedule their own trial. They actually hold them accountable. So a lot of this is just a complete and utter farce. If you were really serious about adjudicating those claims, you wouldn't be farming people out all across the United States. The end of the day, that affects people here. It will affect people, medical services. It will affect other types of social services. It will affect education. So this continued release of folks on a very mass scale and unprecedented scale will saddle states and local governments with health, financial, economic, and public safety costs. There's just no doubt about it. That's why at the end of August, I wrote a letter to the DHS Secretary, Mayorkas, demanding that the Biden administration cease using Florida to resettle folks from the southwest border, and I asked that the prior policies be reinstituted, such as remain in Mexico, and I'm under no illusion that they're going to change course. I think this is intentional. I think this is ideological. I also requested DHS provide information regarding the number, identities, destinations, criminal record, COVID testing status of all the illegal aliens that had resettled in Florida, and then moving forward, that they actually provide Florida notice when they are affirmatively doing this. And of course, not surprisingly, we've not heard a peep from the Biden administration concerning our request, and they continue to leave us in the dark. But we are undeterred, and I'm pleased to be here today with Attorney General Moody to announce 3 significant actions we are taking to address the Biden border crisis. First, the state of Florida is suing the Biden administration over its unlawful and destructive catch and release policy. Thanks to Attorney General for leading that effort, and she'll have more to say about that when she makes her remarks. Second, I'm signing an executive order to prohibit state agencies that prohibit state agencies that report to me from aiding or abetting in any way what the federal government is doing right now. We're not going to be a party to this lawlessness. We haven't, to my knowledge, but we're letting the marker down know that this is an absolute red line. We're not going to do it. And the order prohibits our agencies from providing assistance to the feds or any other entity for the transportation of folks who are here illegally into Florida from the southwest border. It also directs the Florida Department of Children and Families to determine whether Florida should continue to grant licenses for facilities that house unaccompanied alien minors brought into the state from the southwest border. Granting licenses to house illegal alien children who do not reside in Florida takes resources away for child welfare from children who do reside here. This is a problem we have to address, and we have to put Florida children first. The order also requests that the Commissioner of FDLE conduct regular audits of companies doing business in Florida, particularly publicly traded corporations and other large companies, to verify that they are only employing lawful individuals. Additionally, the order requests state agencies to collect and provide information concerning the impact of illegal immigration in Florida. We want information on the number and identities of everyone that's been resettled from the southwest border to Florida. We also encourage both FDLE and Florida Highway Patrol to detain vehicles such as buses or aircraft if they're transporting illegal aliens from the southwest border, if there's reasonable suspicion that the vehicle is being used for human trafficking or drug trafficking. And unfortunately, that is an all too common occurrence when you talk about what's going on here. The order also requests information from state officials on the number who are pending criminal prosecution in Florida and the number who have been convicted, including the crimes convicted, the amount of funds expended on health care for the illegal aliens, and the amount of funds spent on social services. Finally, I'm proud to announce that I'm appointing Larry Keefe, the former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Florida, to serve as our public safety czar. And as public safety czar, Larry will ensure that the actions directed by this executive order, as well as many other things, are carried out, and I'm very honored and happy to have him on my team. So We are in a situation where we have a disaster on the southern border that's been apparent for many, many months. We would like to see the prior policies reinstituted. We're under no illusion that that's going to happen. So we've got to take every effort we can to make sure that we're protecting the people of Florida, and that's what we're doing here today. So I want to let Attorney General Moody come up and say a few words.
Thanks, Governor. And Governor, thank you so much for your leadership, your partnership on these issues. It really helps to have a governor that was a former federal prosecutor, that as a congressman stood up for a true separation of powers and understanding why certain branches of government are given certain authorities and why that is fundamental to the security and stability of a successful free nation and state. And you can see that leadership since he's taken office. I don't care if it is extreme incompetence, if it is radical liberal policy agenda. No one, let me repeat that, no one is above the law. We are seeing dramatic effects at our border. It is an unmitigated crisis based on this president's refusal to follow federal law. It's in black and white, folks, and it's not a president's responsibility to decide whether he agrees with the law. In fact, the head of an executive branch must follow the law. And as we saw the numbers rapidly increase from the time our last president was in office, Trump in his last full month, 17 people were released into the interior in proper procedure. Last month alone, 60,000 people were released into the interior, with no regard for the process that's required by federal law. And after our governor requested details, I've never seen a leader so focused on details of what's going on in his state, what the effects of disastrous leadership nationally, how it will affect our state in terms of the cost to our taxpayers, in terms of the social consequences, our criminal justice system. Understand that Florida will pay over $100 million in incarcerating folks here illegally that are committing crimes in Florida. Over $100 million. Our pleas to this president have gone with no response. You heard from the governor, he demanded what was going on. Who are you releasing? What are their criminal backgrounds? Who's being resettled in our state so that we know its effects on our state, so that we can lead effectively with due regard for the safety and stability of our communities. Hearing nothing from the Biden administration, we have had to take action, and today I filed suit against the Biden administration for failing to follow federal law. We know that we have seen increasing amounts of drugs flowing over our border, specifically fentanyl, enough fentanyl to kill our United States population 4 times over. We saw a 3,000% increase at one time in sexual offenders being detained at the border. It is clear that at this point, this administration, President Biden, is aiding and abetting criminal cartels. Their criminal activity is only spiraling out of control because we are not following law and processing folks, collecting the necessary details needed to collect and detaining them according to federal law before releasing them in due process. Criminal cartels are having a field day. I can assure you their profits are skyrocketing. We brought suit today. We will pursue this aggressively, and I am proud to say that Governor DeSantis and I, as long as we're in office, will not stop in pursuing the interests of our state and the safety of the American people. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Attorney General. And, Attorney General, for the first 2 years of her term, worked with Larry Keefe when he was U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Florida in the Trump administration. Larry is now, as I mentioned, working in my administration as our public safety czar. So I'm going to let Larry come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Governor DeSantis, for protecting Florida and for appointing me to lead this initiative to protect our state from the illegal immigration crisis that President Biden has created at our border. I promise you, if there are people illegally in our state, and if they're in violation of our law, we are going to enforce our law. As a former United States attorney working in the United States Department of Justice, we saw illegal aliens repeatedly re-enter our country. They were deported and came back, then got deported again, and then came back again, in a continuing cycle of criminal lawlessness. We saw this illegal immigration associated with violent crime, Mexican cartels, gangs, drugs, human trafficking. By cracking down on illegal immigration, we will be cracking down on these violent crimes. Some of the impacts of illegal immigration are less visible, but they have great hidden costs, like the taxpayer dollars that disappear paying for support services for people who are here illegally. We will use every bit of the authority that we have to protect Floridians and protect their taxpayer dollars that are now being spent to provide services to those who are here illegally. When I was the United States Attorney, I prosecuted illegal entry cases in North Florida. I am now honored to be able to team with our state and local law enforcement partners to protect the entire state of Florida from illegal immigration. Our elected sheriffs and local police see most and know best the lawlessness and criminal chaos that is associated with illegal immigration on the streets of Florida's communities. They are our critical partners in this fight. We honor them, we respect them, and we need them. And we will use every bit of the authority to support them when they are attacked, and they will be attacked, simply for doing their duty. Attorney General Ashley Moody, the statewide prosecutor, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement will also partner with us in this fight. Our state agencies will partner with us as well, and they will be analyzing and assessing the impacts that illegal immigration have on our state. Governor, we are your team, and we thank you for taking this bold action to protect Floridians. I am committed to getting to work with our partners to protect and secure our state. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Those are just some of the remarks there from Florida officials after that lawsuit being filed against the Biden administration over their border policies. We'll continue to follow it for you right here on Live Now from Fox. When we come back, we'll take you out live to the White House.